Welcome into this special edition of the Cavalier Connection. I'm Jeff, joined tonight by Jay and Jack. We just wanted to kind of reach out to everybody to who's had a big acquisition today by adding Mitchell Melton, linebacker out of the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes. And if you watched our interview with Lo Davis, he doesn't say names, but he definitely let us know this was coming, and potentially more to come. So something to be excited about as the Who's continue to attack this portal. That anonymous donor has really helped us out quite a bit, it appears. But one good thing about us in the Cavalier Connection, and we don't give it enough credit, and we don't talk about this enough. And a benefit that we have gotten is to be a part of the College Huddle. In the College Huddle, and you can go to check it out, thecollegehuddle.com. Pretty much every team, a big portion of the country, college teams have a podcast that's represented on the College Huddle. And we happen to be fortunate enough to be the UVA Cavaliers, represent the Cavaliers as the podcast for the College Huddle. And so the nice thing is when we get a player like Mitchell Melton from Ohio State, there's an outstanding Ohio State podcast out there called the Ohio Podcast. And and they're actually the guys who kind of formed this College Huddle. And they do outstanding work. And listen, you could just reach right out to them and say, look, do you mind giving us a little info on our new guy? And we were lucky enough for them to do that for us tonight. So I don't know, Jay, did you want to cue up the video?
Yep, I'll cue it up. It's a good info on Mitchell Melton. You ready for me to play it?
Yeah, let's go with it.
All right.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eric Boggs from the OHIO podcast, and my friends over there at the Cavalier Connection have asked me to make a short video about former Buckeye Mitchell Melton. He has joined the Virginia team, and you all like to know more about him. So here's what I know about Mitchell Melton. He is a 2020 recruit from the state of Maryland. Was a top 200 kid, a high 4-star in that class. Came to Ohio State as a linebacker slash defensive end, and Ohio State put him at linebacker first, and that was where the first room he joined when he got to Ohio State as linebacker. And he suffered a couple injuries early on in his career, some ACL tears his second season, third season, and it looked like the dream was pretty much over for Mitchell Melton. In steps Jim Knowles, defensive coordinator Jim Knowles, and he moves him down to the defensive end position, down on the defensive line, because Jim Knowles had a position when he was out at Oklahoma State called the cowboy position. He changed the name when he got to Ohio State to the Jack. Essentially, it's a defensive end linebacker hybrid. And the whole idea behind this position is you want an athletic defensive end who can do both defensive end things, edge rusher things, but can also step back and play traditional linebacker. And this position is somebody who you can move around and put in different positions and cause stress on the offense because you're not quite sure where this position is going to be attacking from. Um, so that was the idea of moving Mitchell down to the defensive end and putting him in the jack position, cowboy position, or what most people call your defensive end linebacker hybrid. And unfortunately for Mitchell, it's a position that's just not utilized very much at Ohio State. Ohio State likes to run a 4-2-5. And when Jim Knowles was in Oklahoma, they were running a lot of 3-3-5 with that cowboy, that hybrid linebacker defensive end, so that they could drop him down on the line. And all of a sudden, now you're running a 4-2-5 when you started looking like you're running a 3-3-5, or you start him down at the line and boom, you drop him back as a linebacker, and now all of a sudden you're running a 3-3. So it's something that you have to have the right kind of player for. And the idea behind moving him down was that Mitchell, because of his experience in the linebacker room, and he kind of has a bigger defensive end body now, this was going to be someone who could do that within the scheme for this defense. Larry Johnson, the defensive line coach at Ohio State, he is adamant about running 4 defensive linemen. He doesn't like doing 3 guys. He wants to run 4. And unfortunately, Mitchell kind of got caught behind some guys who just they didn't want to bring off the field. Jack Sawyer, JT Tumula on the ends, and then you're running Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson Jr. Running those guys to give you some depth on the defensive line at your edge rusher position. And so Mitchell Melton just kind of was stuck in no man's land. And so if they weren't going to run that position very often, he wasn't going to play very often. And that just kind of was the case for him at Ohio State, and hence why he decided, with 1 year left of eligibility, because of being redshirted, because of being gray shirted, because of injury, because of a COVID year, despite the fact that the young man is well into his mid-20s, he's now got an extra year of eligibility. And so you're getting a very mature person. You're getting someone who, although he's not had a ton of game reps, he has had a ton of reps in practice. He has been around a team that now has won a national championship. He's been a great locker room guy. He's not someone who's going to come in and disrupt your locker room. He's going to slide into your roster and fit very nicely. Could be a good team leader for you guys as well because of that maturity. So that's kind of my take on Mitchell Melton and what he was able to do at Ohio State for the Buckeyes. He didn't really get any statistics to really speak of until the last couple years. And this year was the year he actually had the most playing time. He ended up with 12 total tackles, 6 solo, 6 assisted, 2 sacks, mind you, though, and limited playing time. And in the last 2 years combined, he now has 3 sacks. And again, very limited playing time. So he is an explosive player when he has opportunities. And so he was someone who I think a lot of Buckeye fans thought he would be in the 2 deep and get to play more next year, but probably wasn't going to be a starter. Now with the possible opportunity to go to Virginia and become maybe a starter, at least a much more of an impact player for you guys, I think you're going to find that this guy can wreck some offensive lines, man. He's very strong, incredibly athletic when it comes to pass attacking the quarterback. So in the pass rush. Run defense, he's okay. He can kind of get lost in the sauce a little bit. But if it's 3rd and long, he pins his ears back and he goes after the quarterback. I expect him somewhere around, I would say somewhere, if given the opportunity to play a full year, I could see him getting somewhere 8, 9, maybe even 10 sacks, possibly. So, and that is, of course, if he's able to stay healthy. And that's really the big thing here for him, is just had some really bad luck with some bad injuries early on in his career. It set him back. It set him back a little bit. So that's the big thing. Stay healthy, stay on the field. I would definitely say he needs to limit his reps in practice, keep him healthy. This is kind of a guy who because of his age, because of how much time he's been in the college game, and because of those injuries, I wouldn't expect him to have a huge need for a ton of reps, but give him game, get him in the game, let him play, especially on 3rd and long, and the kid's going to do a good job for you guys. Thanks, guys, again for the Cavalier Connection for giving me a shout out and giving me an opportunity to jump on here and talk about a former Buckeye. I wish him nothing but the best. Good luck to him next year, and good luck, Hoos. Have a great season next year, guys.
All right. I was gonna say a couple things. Number one, is that our Kihei Clark of the football team? Mid-20s, 10 years of eligibility or something.
Yeah, it's like Stetson Bennett from Georgia, the quarterback I think he ended up graduating at 26 years old. But this guy, the way that he was describing him, he reminds me of sort of, you guys remember this, a Charles Snowden and Eli Handback. who they kind of like to play off the edge. They played Snowden more of an outside linebacker. Hamback was kind of coming off the edge, very similar builds. Hamback is 6'4", 280, and Mitchell Melton is 6'4", 260, so a little lighter. So he could be a little faster than Hamback. And Hamback used to fly off the edge too. I think he could get after quarterbacks and fly off the edge like that. And I like the idea of dropping back. I think that's a whole part of UVA's defensive scheme. I feel like they use a lot of those hybrid players when it comes to the defensive edge and the outside linebackers, and also when it comes to safeties, corridors, linebackers mixed together as well. They like to use those safeties coming in as a sub linebackers in that nickel package. So it's kind of my thing.
Yeah, 3 sacks for his career, but very limited snaps. So when he has gotten a chance, he's made some plays, and he's certainly going to get an opportunity with us. And hey, you heard Eric. I mean, he sees a possibility for 8, 9, even 10 sacks potentially. So if we get anywhere near that production,
that's more than enough.
Yeah, a guy that he talks about being a good guy in the locker room too, which is we know with Coach Elliott. That's just as important as the physical skills you bring. You got to be a good locker room guy, and appears that he will be. And so I'm just excited. I hope we can catch up with Mitchell himself. Would love to do that. So Mitchell, if you hear this, please hit us up.
You know what's even more exciting when you think about it? You think about a guy like him, Jameer Carter's coming back, Hunter Osborne from Alabama, Jason Hammond and Britton are both coming back, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm missing one name on the other side of the line. But think of all those names alone. This defensive line has the potential to be one of the scariest in the ACC.
Jacob Holmes,
no doubt.
The transfer from Utah.
There
State.
it is. Yes, I knew I was missing another name. That it's such an experienced line. We should be able to get after the quarterback no issue this year. There shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of talent. And
It's exciting.
It is very exciting. As I said to Lowe and Jeff said to Lowe, can we just fast forward the calendar to like July and August and
oh man,
be ready.
You're just thinking about that fantasy football.
Oh yeah, first round pick. Hey, by the way, we never talked about this. Your new reigning and defending champion in
your B
all
league
in together, which is the only one that matters, is the one we're all in together.
But you didn't care to talk about it last year when we both eliminated you in the same weekend.
You can't both eliminate me, Jack.
I eliminated you in the B League. You didn't seem to care to talk about it. And you definitely didn't seem to care to talk about it when you were eliminated in the A League by my father.
And you did talk about it last year. You certainly talked about it.
I did, and you got rid of the conversation extremely quickly.
Yeah, but none of us hoisted a trophy. And this year, that's changed. So congratulations go out to the West Point Cavaskins for championship win.
There you go.
How much money did you win in that one, Jay?
My check, I think, is in the mail.
I don't think you got a check coming your way.
Congratulations to the Chesapeake Redskins in the 757 Hitman League as he is splitting a $1,500 pot. Giddy
sounds
up.
Sounds like that. Anyhow. Sounds like that Mincer's gear is definitely on Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh, well, just a quick little preview tonight of our newest edition today. And we'll be interviewing Nick Jackson later in the week, and that will release on Friday. Hope everyone has a great evening. Go Hoos.
Go Hoos.